They just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray for the Western press and the Western narrative. Regurgitating the same old every single day without the stop. Please watch the first 2 episodes, the second season. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good morning, everyone. It's big long day today, isn't it, for me? I've got the watch along later. See, that's the only football I'm doing is the watch alongs, as I've explained. Not doing anymore, like podcasts during the week, simply because there's loads and loads of podcasters that are on, and you're getting different views and whatever. But I'll just do the pre-match, the game, and then the post-match, and my little watch-alongs. So, this is the film and TV review. Have you been watching any films over the year? Yeah, well, Halloween, it's still the Halloween, isn't it, really? I've got a couple of films here, you can watch, and you can get them on YouTube. Really good, actually. That's just me speaking. See, some films you mightn't like. Know what I mean? You mightn't like because, people have different opinions. They say like, oh yeah, this is a good film, that's a good film, oh, I didn't like that one. Know what I mean? So there's different opinions, but I'll give you them anyway, I'll give out what I enjoyed. Couple of action ones, couple of horror ones, and drama. It's good. So let's get cracking, eh? Morning, Frank and chat. Says the TW. IHC. And thanks for that. Please hit the likes and subscribe on your way in. Thank you. See how polite he is. Thanks. And it would be nice, if people did like, because it's the algorithm. It is climbing, actually, the subscriptions, which I'm absolutely delighted with. I'm absolutely delighted with the algorithm, the way it's going up, but it's taking ages. And I think it's just through football as well. That's all. That, people are agreeing with us, because the lads who come on and talk about the football, they've got their opinions, which the majority of us agree with. I've got my opinions. So that's why it's climbing up there. The subscriptions, by the way, that is. Hello, Frank and chat, says Edward. Hey, Edward. And I was last night. I was totally exhausted. I wanted to say a lot last night for the current affairs. I had everything planned, what to say, and I was going to talk about. I'm not talking about it now. I was going to talk about Trump. I was going to talk about Venezuela, Colombia, and Cuba, and what Trump wants. I was going to talk about this Machado, whatever the name is, who was groomed by, you're not going to believe this, but it's absolutely genuine, groomed by the CIA and Mossad. The new Nobel Peace Prize winner. Think about that, please. And I said at the time it was corrupt. When Obama got it, and I'm going back then, when he won it, I said that the Nobel Peace Prize is corrupt. Not just now. And this proves it. It proves it, that it's corrupt. The whole bloody thing, the whole of Europe's corrupt. The West, America is corrupt. Your footy pods are the best, Frank, says Edward. Thank you. But you've seen me, Edward. I love doing them, don't get me wrong. I love doing them. Because, you know, we're all Reds. But you get the arseholes, and I'm sorry to come out with that on Saturday morning. Arseholes, and the delusioned. They're delusioned about everything, about the club. They really are delusioned. And this is our club. This is our team who we love. There's a lad who came over from North America, flew over to watch that game. And, that's for another time. That could be for later on, to be honest, if you don't mind. And, your lad's a podcaster, and he's a smashing lad. And he's got a little sick daughter as well. And he's just a Red. And he travels all the way up from London. And Saturday, watching that, the pouring rain, it's like a monsoon. It was like a monsoon. And that was Jamie Phillips, lovely fella. So you have all these, things which, most probably we'll speak about during the watch along today, if you join me, that is. But thanks for that, Edward. Thank you. Callum. Was out last night, but how was everyone this morning? Well, I'm glad you were out for Halloween, Callum. Hope you had a few beers, enjoyed it, like everyone should. But I disagree with all this. I'm old school, to be honest. So maybe you'll go, "Oh, shut up, Frank, behave yourself." But I don't all this like all this Americanism. When I was a kid, we had duck apple night, and it was great. And roasted chestnuts on Halloween. That's what it was. Duck apple night. It was great. But now you have all this trick and treat. I remember I was living downstairs, actually. A smashing little place I had. And then on Halloween, they don't knock here because it's all secured. And the next morning when I woke up, my front window was full of eggs. Young kids were smashing eggs against the window, and it was shocking. Trying to get eggs off your window is a bad job. And anyway, I've moved up here, which is a lot better, but the trick and treat is shocking. That's just me, though. Am I over the top with it? That's just my opinion, though. Ali the Noose. Hey, Ali, good day. Good day, Ali. Good day. Ezra says, as long as you're okay and still doing watch-alongs, thank you, Edward. Yeah, I'll be doing that. Good morning, Frank. Big up, says the red golds. I like that, red golds. And CW, Frank, what was the name of the Nick Cage horror film you mentioned yesterday? It's a cracking film. And it's got a Halloween theme. And it's called Pay the Ghost. Pay the Ghost. It's a really good film. And it's well worth a watch. Just called Pay the Ghost. It's more of a like a thriller, a mystery, and a drama, actually, all rolled into one. It's really good. Everyone nervous for tonight, says Callum. Callum, if you're not nervous for tonight, the 8 o'clock kick, I'll be coming on. I don't know whether it's 7 o'clock or quarter past. It doesn't matter. I think it's a quarter past for the pre-match. So it'll be interesting to see who the team is. Be interesting who the Sloop man picks. I hope he picks the informed players, because I said the other night, I really said the other night against Crystal Palace, we need this win tonight. We need it. And when I seen the team, I thought, this is wrong, this. And when I seen the substitute, I thought, oh, fuck. I really did, I thought, this fella, he wants to go out of the cup. He wants to, he's disregarding this, whether he's in panic mode, pressure, well, I don't know. But he just seems not to like cups. And that proved it last year, actually. It proved it when we played Plymouth Argyle. He wasn't worried. That's it. Then, we went out against Paris Saint-Germain. And again, it was the, hasn't a fucking clue about how we feel. We're Liverpool supporters. I've experienced, can't do it now, unfortunately, but I've experienced some of the greatest European nights ever. The likes of, I go back to the San Etienne game in 77. It was incredible. Then, as time went on, we were going out of the Champions League on a few occasions. The likes of Steven Gerrard against Olympiacos. And that shot. Incredible. Again, Steven Gerrard against quarterfinals against Arsenal, Champions League. 6 minutes ago, that Adebayor scored. And I was in the Annie Road stand. Fucking hell, 6 minutes ago, and this fella said, oh, we're fucking out. I said, no. I said, don't give up. I said, we've only got to score another. I said, we can. And then by the time we kicked off, after they scored Adebayor, it was down to about 4 minutes to go. Ryan Babel went right through. He was fouled by Colo Torre. Penalty. Think about it. And Gerrard taking a penalty. Knowing if he misses it, we are out. quarterfinals. We needed to get into those semis. We were out, and that must have been going through his mind. And he put it away. Then Ryan Babel got the fourth, and we ended up winning comfortably, 4-2. Verratti by your scoring with 6 minutes to go. Morning, Frankie, and the Philharmonics. Philharmonics. Morning, Raw. Hope you're well, mate. Philharmonics. I like that. The red goals, the ones that seem to be the most delusional seem to be the ones who follow the fan channel. Yes. Bang on, red goals. Great comment. That get interviews with LFC players, they dumb down and deny any criticism. Of course they do. You know the channels, I mean. Yes, that's why. Fuck that. They follow a narrative that comes out, and I think there's people who just like likes and then comments afterwards, to say, oh, I think Arnie's doing a good job, give him time, look at and all this. They forget certain things going back to last January. And the great football we weren't playing, especially this season. So they follow the narrative. Unfortunately, they can't think for themselves. Good shout there. Red goals, very good shout. The Anfield. Callum, I had a few too many treats, and now my head's doing it. Oh, I like that. That's brilliant. My head's doing the treats. The Anfield. Frank, will you be running your eye over the Del Torre Frankenstein? I like him. I'll tell you what was a good Frankenstein film. Has anybody ever read the book, by the way? I've read the book. And the Frankenstein, they came out, let's make another, so, Christopher and Peter Cushing. Great, but that was then. But no one ever did a proper Frankenstein. Where you see John Walton, on a ship in the Arctic. That's how the book opens. It's his sister writing the story, getting a letter from her, letters, and it's a very clever book actually. And you see him in the icy wastes, and he's looking like that. He's looking out, and he sees this figure. Now, don't forget, you're in the Arctic. There's ice fields. And he sees this figure coming up from a distance, and it's getting nearer and nearer. And that's the book. Cracking it is. Really good book. Good story. And Callum, we better get something, or Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. will be feasting. We've got to get over today first. Yeah, what is can anybody let me know what is it a Wednesday game or a Tuesday against Madrid? Cheers, Frank. We'll give it a look. I thought it was a good to watch the Exorcist last night. Never again. I couldn't sleep after it. I said that, T. I went to see it when it first came out. And it fucking frightened me. Swallow. It frightened me. And when I got home, the light went on when I went to bed, and it stayed on, and it stayed on for ages. Every time I went to bed. It was horrible. I haven't watched it since, you know. I've never watched it. And when their tapes came out, and that kid had a tape. No, he didn't. I got a tape off someone. Someone said he had it. It's a tape, The Exorcist. I said, anyway, I had it. I wouldn't look at it. And I used to lend it out. I wouldn't fucking look at it. And anyway, I ended up, you know, one of our kids, I don't know who it was, said, can I borrow the tape? I said, yeah, keep it. Because I didn't want it in the house. The Exorcist. Horrible. The Anfield, you're spot on about Sloot and the cup games. This fella's arrogance is another level. He's fucking horrible. He doesn't embrace the fans at all. He doesn't embrace the fans. Your kid and your dad was at that game getting soaking fucking wet. Watching. Well, you know what, I'm not going to get into it, and they walked out. And I was made up because people, were saying, oh, they must have gone out because of the rain. No, they were fucking making a stand. They were saying, fuck you and your team, your selections and your substitutions. That's in my opinion. He doesn't give a fuck. And I tell you, look, when we lost 3 on the trot and he was in fucking Dubai, I'm gone. Would Shankly have ever done that? Would Paisley have ever done that? Would Fagan, any of them? Any of them? Would Jürgen have done that? No. But he did. And another thing which gets me is that his family don't live here with him. So what's that telling you about the city? Even the outskirts of the city. It's fucking shocking, honestly. And she says, I remember a Poltergeist film with Timothy Spall a few years back. It was based on a true story in this country. I don't know whether I've watched that, He's great, Timothy Spall, great actor. Hang on a minute. I've watched Poltergeist, the American version, which was very good, by the way. Joe Beth Williams, great story. Tobe Hooper, great director, Tobe Hooper, by the way. So that's the one I've watched, Poltergeist. It's really good. And there was a case within the film, and afterwards, little Heather O'Rourke, who died, the child in it. There was bits of cases. And you never walk alone, family. Come on, Frank. I wish I could say happy match day, but I'm so worried for tonight. We all are. We all are. I've never known that, and look, I go back years and years and years, and we've gone through a game where we're confident. We're confident. We'll get a result here. Home or away, we'll get a result here. But I've never seen so many, including my own immediate family, who, just like you'll never walk alone family, are worried, and Callum, everyone are worried. See, that's the confidence knocked out of us. Know what I mean? If we lose, we could find ourselves in 12th or 13th by the end of the weekend. Thanks for that cheery comment. Fucking hell, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Sandra Kirkpatrick. Morning, Frank. Agree with you about Halloween. It all started here after E.T. film. Remember Duck Apple? Yeah, I loved it, Sandra. And taking on an apple to school to hang on it, yeah. With your arms behind your back, yeah. That was it. Chestnuts. It was just great. It was great. Now, you've got this Americanism where it's pathetic. It really is pathetic. All this Americanism. That's why America wants us to be in their pockets. Well, we are in their pockets. But I mean with mannerisms, expressions, and everything. Yep. Yes. And Callum says in 2023-5, why do we still play the high line with 34-year-old Veg and a washed out Canate? I can't answer. I cannot answer that. You have to ask the genius, the tactical genius, the man who's trying to play his new strategy that's not working whatsoever. And their family says, would you start Gomez today? Something needs to change. We might need to play Endo for some defensive stability. Just play 4 in the midfield. I'd play 4 in the midfield, 2 up front. And I'll play Ekatike. Oh, you notice the way he never plays Ekatike. And he was the informed player. He was actually scoring goals. And he wasn't playing. What was that all about? And also, I'd play Chiesa. I'd give him a start. That lad ran around Wednesday night in the teams and torrents of rain. That's what you call dedication. and passion for the game. And he loves Liverpool. He's actually come out and said, I love it. Loves the fans. Loves the fans. Callum, it's on shit. Thank you. Thanks, Callum. So the botch along will be on Tuesday. It's like every day, isn't it? Seems to be on every day. But yesterday, I was knackered last night. I couldn't finish. And I'll tell you another thing as well. Was it the day before or whatever? I was talking. Oh, what was it? And I fell asleep. I just went. That's how tired I was. Because I was waiting yesterday for a phone call. I couldn't. I have a thing during my day. I organise what I do myself, and I couldn't because I was getting a phone call, which is a very important phone call for me. Very important, of my doctor, and it was great, when he did phone me, when he did finally got the phone call through. But waiting for that, I couldn't I was absolutely washed out. And last night when it came on, I knew because I felt myself, anyway, I had to finish early. Thanks for that, Callum. Got me on me, Paul. Got to go back to 4-4-2, a solid 4 in midfield for starting. Yeah, I just said that, Paul. I just said that. Have you noticed some of the journos who are up his backside? They're coming out with excuses. Oh, we've got injuries. And the Sloop man, didn't he, which was a cracker. He's a bit of it. Well, he's not a bit of one. He's a fucking hypocrite. Do you remember last season when he said about this is the season that he was taking over, and he was saying, "Are you buying anyone?" And there's Federico Chiesa. He never bought him. Well, he doesn't buy anyone. It's Edwards, and he said, "I only like small squads. Small squads I like. That's all small squads." Now he's fucking moaning that the squad's not big enough. Shouldn't have fucking sold Diaz, Nunes. Should you? Harvey Elliott shouldn't have sold them. For fuck's sake, you shouldn't have got rid of Kwanzaa. I think if he doesn't like your face, you're fucking gone. I believe that. Young Kwanzaa, we can fucking do with him now. And did you notice Kwanzaa's form fucking went under him? He was great under Klopp. He was confident. The red shoes. Shankly and Paisley would be the last to field a weak team in the cup. Yes. Shankly was desperate to with domestic cups. Yes. As both Shankly and the Paisley man said. What did they call it? The bread and butter. The bread and butter. All the domestic trophies. because you're out again. I used to be behind the couch. Come on. No, do you know what gets me now? And it must get you as well. You know, set pieces. Set pieces. Especially in dangerous areas. And it always seems just to be out on either the left or the right of the 18-yard box. And the ball thrown over. Fucking. Callum. I'll message Van Bronckhorst. I've got to talk about films, lads. The big players at the club need to start turning up, says Paul. Paul, I'm not being funny, mate. Honestly, you know me. It's tactics. I've seen the face on Virgil. He's like wondering, if you know what I mean. You know, not wandering around, but wondering in his mind. You know, and he just goes like that. That's what he does. I've seen Sabozlai on the bench in the fucking pouring rain. What did he have them on the bench in the pouring rain for? Did anyone cotton onto that? Fucking lashings. It was like a monsoon and he had them sitting there. Why didn't he have them in a box? In the cover? Or in one of the things where there was a fucking big screen, they could have fucking watched it there. Or at home because they weren't playing. They weren't in the squad at all. But he had them fucking sitting there in the teams in torrents of rain. That's what got me as well. That's what got me. About him. Salute. But you get moaned at, don't you? They're all fucking moaners according to some people. But it's the tactics to me, Paul. Honestly, it's the tactics and the system. He even mentioned it, didn't he, yesterday at his press conference? The strategy. Why doesn't fucking one of those journalists just say, it doesn't fucking work, mate? It's not fucking working. Fuck him anyway. Snapey, the septic tanks have bastardised our language to point off verbal abomination. The fact that some of our younger generation are imitating them is indicative of intellectual instability and end of. Yes. I remember going to Facebook once, and this girl, a Liverpool girl, just said, I'm going up, where we say we're going up to me mum's or, me mum's. And I guess what she put? Going up to mum's, M-O-M. That said it all for me. I just thought, oh, fuck. Mum. Gomez was always with the club, but never a good player, in my opinion, says Ali Danous. He was good for a few games in the past, but he is never a good player. But he is always there to replace someone. Maybe we can use him as right back. Thing is, you're right there about, but there's always, I'm afraid, there's always a mistaken Joe to happen. Sometimes it doesn't, and he plays well. Paul says You ever notice, Frank, since Klopp called TNT out over early kickoffs, they pick up us now to play at the most awkward times to win. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to ask you a question. Then have time to think about it. Then I'm going to do my films as you're thinking, so you can write it out. I'm going to do my films, then I'll get right back to you. Let's see what Callum's team is. Mamadashvili, Gomez, Van Dijk, Kanate, Kerkez, Endo, Gravenberch, Saboz, Wirtz, Ekitike, Salah. Cozy Flapoke and Leggett, says Callum. Do you know what? I'd put Chiesa with Ekitike there, though. Callum, your team. Unless, Mo. I want this clapping, 20-minute clapping to stop because it does affect the players. Anyway, tiredness could be a result of raised glucose levels, Frank. Keep your eyes on it. Oh, thanks. Check your ketone levels, Frank, above. Oh, fucking hell. How can I check that? Promise you, diabetes is insidious. It sneaks up on you. Yeah. Yeah. You should have seen me, Snapey. Jason it was, he said, get back to what you did there last night. So I did. I hate looking at myself. And you just see me and I'm looking like that. And the next, my eyes closed. And I just went. And it was horrible. Last night, for example, when I finished, I was absolutely exhausted on here last night. I don't think I did an hour. And I wanted to talk so much about what I mentioned before. And I was exhausted within myself. Went and had a cup of tea and a sandwich because I don't eat before. Okay, I had breakfast this morning before this, but I don't eat before because it makes me lethargic. If I'm doing a pod, or even if I'm working, lethargic, drowsy. And I went in from here, had the sandwich, and I just fell asleep. Woke up at 10 to 12, 10 to midnight, and I went to bed. That's a good night's sleep, but it's worrying. Callum, have you seen Slot says session? Yeah, sessions, sleep. I like small squads. Session. Ali Danoush, Bradley with Slot is very different than Bradley with absolutely. And Klopp is not the only one. Maka, Kanate, Gapco, Robbo, those players need somebody like Klopp. Klopp is a top mentality coach as well. Yeah, he is. He is spot on there. The Anfield Road. The club sold all in depth and not replaced it. No, they did sell all the depth And they didn't. But did you notice the depth was all Klopp's youngsters? Did you notice? Good little players. These are the kids that Klopp had playing in cups alongside, just a few first teamers with first teamers on the bench. And they were getting them through to fucking finals, semi-finals and finals, these kids, and they've all fucking gone. You noticed? So you see the difference between the kids under Klopp to the kids under this mush here. The vlogs. Hello, Frank. What have you watched this week? In work, we've been watching all day. Hang on. Fucking glasses. I don't want to put my glasses on. I'm sorry. You know me reading ones. Get a headache with them. Hello, Frank. What have you watched this week? In work, we've been watching all of the royal family from the first episodes up to the last of the specials before Arthur the cast passed away. Good stuff. Oh, the royal, yeah, the royal. I just got you royal. That is in royal. Yeah. I know Ricky, and I met that. I met Ricky. He called me over, and he was with that Ralph lad, Ralph Little, is it? Sat down, he was just chatting. They were actually filming about cafes in Liverpool, funny enough. Sat down, had a cup of tea with them, and nice lads is Ralph. He said, meet a good friend of mine, greatest story, and he said, hello. All I'll say on the footy, says the vlogs, footy side, is we could have done with Elliot right now. He was a great impact player, but that's just my opinion. Like, he was a great impact player, and he could make an impact. Ali Danus, yeah, Franco, I agree. Joe is trying his best, but always you expect a mistake from him. Fucking hell. Right, I'm going to ask you a question. Paul says again. Do you agree with me here, Paul? Thanks for going on to Paul Burke, my old mate. Remember, one of the scariest films, TV things I've seen is Salem's Lot. The fella out of car keys and clutch. David Soul. Yeah, it was good, that. James Mason was in there. He was the baddie, buddy. Salem's Lot. It was a very good one. And it was a TV, it was in two TV films. In two installments. It's good. Very good. Good shout, that, Paul. I'm going to ask you a question. And I'm going to talk about these films I've got written fucking down to tell you, because I used to forget, you see. Hang on, I'll just run in and see what film it is. What would your feelings be if the scoreline doesn't go our way tonight? What would your feelings be? Right, so I'm going to... Did someone get hold of me? Did I bring in my phone? Never brought it in. I didn't bring my phone in. I've got to bring my phone in. I'm expecting something. Fuck. Right, so I'm going to talk about a couple of films. One is a true story, but watch it. And it's called The Reef. The Reef. REEF. The Reef. And it's not a horror. It's definitely not a horror. It's a drama based on a true story. Watch it. Also, which is a horror as such, and it's an all female cast, but it's good, and it's called The Cave, and it's just girls, who go potholing, and I'll have to get my phone, people. I'm awfully sorry about this. Just give me the way I hobble about half an hour. I've got to get my phone. I really have. Back. Yeah, there was messages for me. Thanks for being patient. Thank you. Oh, I'll have to have a drink of water. Yeah, The Cave, it's very good. It's an all-female cast, but it's good. I tell you another one with an all-female cast, and but it's not an all-female cast. There's some fellas in it, and it's called. You get these on YouTube, by the way, and it's called Quarries. Quarries. Like the quarrymen and whatever, working in the quarries. It's called Quarries. That's on YouTube. Get hold of it. It's good. So that's The Cave, mostly girls. Because The Cave is, as I said, it's about these hikers, they go potholing as well. So watch that. Excuse me there, coughing. So it's really good. The Cave and Quarries. That wasn't on my list, actually. Val Kilmer in one. And if you like sinister people, watch The Super if you haven't seen it. Again, on YouTube. The Super, Val Kilmer. It's good. It's good. The superintendent about a massive block of flats, New York type flats. It's really good. And also, if you like Gary Oldman, it's a cracking little film called Mary, about a yacht. You might have seen it, but it's no ordinary yacht. It's good. Gary Oldman's a great actor. I woke up early this morning because, the sleep I had during the, last night, went to bed and went to sleep again. So I was up early this morning. I was awake at 7 o'clock. just sat there in bed, put a film on. And it was more or less a stellar cast. It was a cracking cast. And I think Stanley Tucci is a great actor. Stanley Tucci. And Kevin Spacey was in it as well. Kevin Spacey. Paul Bettany. And when I was watching it, I thought, it was a bit, I couldn't fucking make heads or tail. It was about corporate stuff. You know, these big firms that are traders. I couldn't fucking make heads or tails of it. So I was going, but it looked okay, you know. Especially with the star cast in it. Demi Moore was in it. Jeremy Irons, Paul Bettany. But when Paul Bettany, when you first heard him talking, he's speaking, yeah, well, you gotta go over there. And you see him later on, and he's talking like fucking Cockney. And I thought, this is fucking nuts, this. So anyway, I turned it off. Because I had to get ready and that I had to get up. And believe it or not, there's a thing, you know, about the margin. It's what it's called, the margin, or fine margin or something like that. And I said, things that you didn't understand. They would. It's like watching a film and you're having a fucking clue what it's about. So they make a documentary to say, well, this is what it was about. Mostly it was about figures. About figures. On trading. So I'm going to finish it off. You know, I will watch it because I want to know what happens. Because the skullduggery going on. And I've got this in mind. You know when they make horrors over there in America, you know, and they always have a bad, you know, baddie in it. No matter what, it's always English. It's always English who are the baddies. Remember Silence of the Lambs? Anthony Hopkins. British. Remember Alan Rickman in Die Hard and Jeremy Irons in Die Hard? They're all baddies, but foreign baddies, but they always got them as baddies. We always play baddies. If you want a baddie, get an English fella. Anyway, so, and I mentioned this, I think last week or the week before, and it's called The Haunting. And The Haunting has Liam Neeson in it, which is good. But it was a remake of a black and white film, which I seen in the black and white form at the cinema. Went the pictures to see it. And it was rather frightening. The black and white film. So you've got two versions. You've got you know, an original Haunting, The Haunting, and a remake, The Haunting, with Liam Neeson in. The vlogs. Snapey is right, Frank. I deal with bloody glucose levels at every shift I do. Look after yourself, mate. Well, I remember Snapey telling me I always love my pasta. You know, I always make a very good spaghetti. I really do. It's a family recipe that's gone right through the family from Italy, brought over here, and I went right there, and I make it, and I really do. And I've got the ingredients there in the freezer, so I won't be able to have that because Snapey said, "Don't do it. Don't, cut your pasta out." Fucking hell. Because I've got to lose weight anyway. So what I'll get for all me, like me sticky toffee puddings and jam roly-polies, I'll get sugar-free custard to help me with my diets. Ah. CW, Back to the Future is 40 years old. Have you seen the way Michael J. Fox is today? No matter how much money you have, can't be helped. That lad, that man, no. It's a shame, isn't it? Diseases. Oh, eat garlic, Franco. Make garlic sauce. I give you my recipe. It helps. 100 mashed garlic, 100 grams of mashed garlic, 300 water, okay, 2 spoons of oil, 2 ounces of vinegar, okay, some Vegata. I thought that was going to be some Viagra. I'll mix it all together. There you go. I know that lots of garlic is in foods. I do know that. But I can't stand garlic. Ali, it makes me balk. Unfortunately. But I do eat foods, obviously, because there's garlic in it. Just the thought of it. But thank you, honestly, thank you. Must be the only half Italian who doesn't like garlic. Anyway, Snapey says, get some ketone testing strips for your glucose monitor. It's the same finger prick. Oh, it's genuinely important. Hypoglycemia. It's when we're tired or hungry. Oh, drinking water helps flush it, This fucking pain back in the elbow. Thanks, Napier. Toscana. Buongiorno, Franco and chatters. I've just woken up. Sorry I didn't say grazie. I fell asleep. As your mate, I fell asleep myself. I was saying before. Never be sorry to me anyway. But I fell asleep. Maybe Klopp is not the greatest manager ever. He is to me. No, he's not the greatest manager ever, but He is the guy behind to push them. Yes. Let's go. Good morning, Frank and legends. Wish a blessed All Saints Day to everyone. Oh, yeah, it's All Saints, isn't it? Isn't it funny how you forget these things? All Saints Day. We used to have what you call, I grew up a Catholic. And when I was at school, we used to have a holy day of obligation, fulfilled during the week. Holy day of obligation. I always wanted to know what obligation meant. Still, you got to go to church. Oh, okay, then. That's your obligation. Go to church and pray to all the saints, including your own saint. Fucking hell, this is back. Only itching under the nose. Snapey. Hey, Johan, lad. Frankie, a joke for you. A nun takes a bath, then there is a knock on the bathroom door. She says, "Who is it?" "I'm the blind man." She says, "All right, then come in." Oh, honestly, God, it's an old joke, though. And I was at the Good Turns once, and Mick Miller, Good Turns, you have to get up and do a turn. I used to give a talk. Ken Dodge used to get up and give a talk. Okay. And anyway, Mick Miller got up. Not Mick Miller. Anyway, he gets up and he said that joke, but it was the way he said it. And pulls the faces. But when he said, "I'll come in," the nun. She comes in with the blinds. That's a cracker, though. And he comes in and says, "Nice boobs, where do you want these blinds?" Oh, blimey. What time is it then? 20 to 12. Edward. I want a slice. I thought I want a slice of what? It's my glasses, you see. Me distant ones. And there's me. They are my reading glasses. I fucking hate wearing them. I want slot gone. I've seen too much. I don't like his style of play. I don't think anyone does. Only Slootman and Van Bronckhorst. And our little Amby. My favourite book and film is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Yeah, great, whatever. But there's far better books than that. But To Kill a Mockingbird, yeah. And every time, you just mentioned it there, Ellen, and I just thought of Gregory Peck, when you mentioned that. Oh, Johan, Was it margin cut? That's it. It was about the 2008 recession. Hated the scene where he buries his dog at his ex-wife's lawn. Yeah, you see him crying, don't you, that his dog's dying, right at the beginning. But I haven't finished it yet. I haven't seen that scene. I'll tell you who's in it as well. That Quentin, what's his name? He's in Star Trek. Plays Spock in Star Trek. And in I've never seen him in anything except Star Trek. And I've seen him in that this morning. And I always thought that he had to stick out jaw like that. Really did. But he must do it for the film because he's not like that at all. Something Quinto, his name is. You know, like Spock, you know, he must have pulled that jaw out so that, you know, Spock he's emotionless, isn't he? But anyway. I was going to watch The Exorcist last night, but nodded off. Maybe that was a sign to leave it a little. But yeah, don't. Critics say the 1963 Haunting is one of the scariest films ever made. Yeah. Yeah. I watched it. When it first came out. And I thought, Toscana. Horrible. I tell you who's in it, a great English actor. Forget his bloody name. I can see him now. Richard someone. He was married to Kim Novak, this fella. Richard, I forget his name. English actor. Very good actor. He's well past it now, like, you know, passed on, I mean. Toscana, Klopp knew how to put an arm around players. I can't see this with Slot. He looks cold and aloof. He is aloof, actually. Yeah, it's a good shot, though. Ali says, a Romanian joke from me after an apartment burnt. The firefighters came to rescue a guy. They asked him, you have more bone injuries than burns? The guy answered, they put the fire out with a shovel. That's a cracker, that. And he had tap off it. You know, more broken bones than burns. Because they put the fire out with a shovel. Oh, that's maybe that's definitely, that's up there, that. That's lovely. Absolutely brilliant. So anyway, as I said, The Reef. I've even got like one in with Sly Stallone, and I think it's a good action adventure, and called Daylight, and he's a taxi driver. But you can see but it's a good adventure one. Viggo Mortensen's in it, he's a good actor. But you can see he's a taxi driver, but he gets the sack as a chief firefighter, and a fucking fire starts. And obviously, what'll we do, chief? I'm not chief anymore. I'm not chief anymore. So you see, but that's the way. Toscana. Richard Johnson, that was him. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Well, Liam Neeson plays his part in the follow-up. And goes actor Richard Johnson, married to Kim Novak once upon a time. So I asked you a question before. You never answered me, so I'm going to finish. You just can't be bothered. Yeah, so The Cave. Watch The Cave. I think it's a very good film. And Quarries, all their Gael cast. And the Super's very good. Superintendent of Val Kilmer is in it. He's very good, Val Kilmer. Mary, about a little yacht that the family, Gary Oldman's family, he buys this yacht. He wants to bring out party goers, into the way you can hire these boats and go around the bays and the river, whatever they do, them things. You hire them out, go fishing or something. And he buys this boat, second-hand boat. It's good. It's good. And The Reef, true story. It's really good. Normally, I don't watch true stories. It comes up, things like, I don't watch them, but I watched that, and it was quite good. Quite good. And Toscana says, I'll be watching The Reef. No, it is. It's good. You'll enjoy it. Setting in Australia, yeah. I didn't hear the question. The question is, excuse me. The question is, Toscana. Or the question was, if it doesn't go Liverpool's way today, how would you be feeling? That's all. How would you be? And no one answered me. Not one bloody. They all might have gone. I don't know. They might have said, "Oh, yeah, Frank, don't like your film and TV review because you're only talking about football." And I said to people, pay the ghost. Said to them last night before I finished the show, pay the ghost. Nick Cage. Johan. You know the way Ali the Noose came out with a joke, and the Anfield Rock came out with a joke. But it's the most laughable joke ever, and it's from Johan. Give him a 10-year contract extension. Good job we like you, Johan. I think that's what we used to say, didn't we, to the United fans about Ollie at the wheel and Ten Hag. Ten Hag. I want Slot gone, says Toscana. He's a busted flush. Yeah, you're right, Johan. We've had it. We've had it all with Ollie and Eric. But have you ever noticed players, and that Rio Ferdinand, he was behind Ollie because they have to. They have to. I was talking to a very famous manager, not mentioning his name, very famous. And I've got a photograph on my thingy there with my arm around him. Anyway, I mentioned a certain player at Liverpool. And he went, oh, he said, don't. They don't want to talk about them. You know, to like ordinary fans who might just go on. I was talking to, and he said, you know what I mean, they're fucking terrified. And I just said I wouldn't say anything. Wouldn't say anything when I mentioned this certain fucking player. And all as I said was, this particular player just kept giving fouls away in dangerous. He always did it in dangerous areas. And I said, you know, is there any coaching to tell him not to give, or just put him in a different position than a number 6? Well, I just said a defensive midfielder then. No, that was to one of our great managers. They don't want to fucking talk about it. Even the players. And I know players. I've got fucking photographs with me. You know. I had a photograph too. But the nice fellas, honestly. They're just diehards, but they will not talk about other, you know, certain individuals, that is. Talk about the team, not certain individuals. So no one has said anything. I would just feel, well, I know how I'd feel, personally. And Johan, he says, all jokes aside, I do hope you get a result tonight. Good luck for the game. Thank you, Johan. Thank you so much. I put a song on this morning. I never put it on, especially it just came up. You know, the Beatles. And I was thinking, I was saying, I'll have to have a sleep, you know, because as I said, I've been up since early. So I'll have to have a sleep. Got to go shopping with Francine. Depends when she comes down. But if she doesn't, you know, if she's coming down late, I'll just say, you know, you do the shopping. Give her a list because I really need to sleep. I can't be like last night and the night before and the night before. So I'll have a little sleep. Get fresh for tonight. And Ali says, glad I made you laugh today, El Franchino. That was funny, that. It was. The Anfield. Frankie, you watched that Hereditary, yes. Is that the one where, am I getting mixed up here now, Anfield? Is that with Hugh Grant? Hugh Grant? Or is that the Heretic? I don't fucking know. Ali Danus. Johan, for you as well, Amarim is doing a good job there. Was hard to take that team after Ten Hag, but step by step he is getting there. Good luck for today. There you go. Isn't that nice? Not nice. Tony Colletta. She's great here. I don't half like her at Anfield. I seen her in, I think one of the cleverest films she was in was Sixth Sense. That's the only film I like Bruce Willis in. You know, all those die-hard fucking things. I don't know where I'm up to. Okay, says Toscana. Say it's only football, but it makes me angry. I want to tackle football and Slot sends me to sleep. And Ali says, you know what? My Italian friend, because Slot is clueless in terms of a good tactic, are lost on the field. You know what? My Italian friend. Sorry. Because Slot is clueless in terms of a good tactic, and we are lost on the field. Yes, absolutely, Ali. Yes. Yes, but something's got to change tonight. Thanks for that, Doro. As I said, I like Tony. I'll have a look at that, and I'll tell you when I'll have a look tomorrow. Hereditary. I've got a little one of those fucking ulcers underneath my tongue. And Johan says, thank you, Ali. That Romanian joke was hilarious. It was. I said, no Romanians told jokes. You learn something new every day, don't you? Even the outfit, oh, say, for God's sake. I write bad because I make cigarettes, do you? I tell you who else used to make cigarettes and cigars. And that was his little business. And where I lived, I used to look over to this particular, you know, I was only a kid. And I used to look over to this place. And I'll never forget it. And like, you know, it was like a ruin then, if you know what I mean. It was a ruin, and it was a red brick building. And it was called Breen's. And I used to look over, as I said, as a kid when I was growing up, at this Breen's. And who used to go there to buy tobacco, because it was a tobacco place, raw tobacco. And leaves, you know, cigar leaves. And who used to go there to make cigars, you know, get a load of whatever tobacco and go back. Excuse me, been waiting for this. I've got to put my fucking glasses on. Excuse me, please. Bastard. Sorry about this, people. Well, that was our James. Our Jarrett's lad, cracking lad. Beautiful lad. And on my history show, I was talking about philanthropists. And I was talking about him because what he does, you know, people who have nothing, genuinely, people who have nothing. He just hires a van and he works right through the week. And he gets furniture for them. And he puts it up and he says, anyone want this? And I'm talking 3-piece suites. I'm talking tables and chairs. I'm talking tellies. I'm talking every fridge, freezers, everything, even carpets, decent carpets, because you won't take any carpets. And he just said, and people say, yeah, I'll have that, please. Please. And even like prams, for kids, because some people haven't fucking got nothing. And he delivers them, and all he charges is the petrol money, like a tenner or something. And someone fucking says he's making money and all this. And he got him blocked. On Facebook. So some snidey prick who done that is depriving people who have got nothing. Cookers, everything he gets, honestly. Because he empties the houses, and honestly, that's all he charges. And he pays out, as I said, for the fucking van, out of his own pocket, and delivers. Fucking shocking. It's shocking. And he just sent me a thing. Fuck. Some mean people. Some fucking mean people in this world. Toscana says, Tony Colletta was great in Muriel's. Yeah, I love Aussie films. Good idea, Mrs. Jessup. I don't like that. I tell you what, I watched a film, an Australian film. I think it was called Wolf Creek. Fucking horrible it was. Horrible. About some fella, some trucker. Horrible. I think it was called Wolf Creek, something Wolf anyway. Steve ISD. Even Roy Evans played better football than Sloth. But we had a bad defence at the time. Yes. The Anfield says to Tosca, she is brilliant. Yes. Ali Danus. Frank, real Romanians have a lot of jokes. I bet you didn't meet a lot. No, you're the only one. You're the only one, Ali, lad. You're the only one. Frankie, I met a drag queen in Greater Manchester. He had a wig and a dress. A drag queen. Even Johan's laughing at that. And Ali says, yeah, it is always cheaper than to buy normal ones. Times are hard. We need somehow to mix with it. I don't want to go into politics, but I swear about Ursula 20 times. Most corrupt woman, Erin Kaya Callas. Look, I'll just say this once, please. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm not going to go into one of the Russians' quest is to denazify Ukraine. Just get rid of the Nazis once and for all. And the EU doesn't want it. Think about that. Because you've only got to look at Merz, the Chancellor of Germany. You've only got to look at Kaya Kallas. You've only got to look at von der Leyen and our own MI6, whose leader, a woman, another fucking woman. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like, but you know what I mean when I say this. Whose grandfather was called the butcher of Ukraine during the Second World War. And she is our leader of MI6. And you've only got to look at the backgrounds to them people I've mentioned. And what their families are or were. That's all I'm saying on the matter. That's for another time. The Anfield. Frankies, what's your favourite epic films, and are you into sagas, not holidays, but movie sagas? What's your favourite epic film? It depends on... you see, when you talk epic, like during the 40s and 50s and the early parts of the 60s, you had all these biblical ones, all biblical. And I think if you can say this is an epic, I don't know. But I think it's the finest, even in scenes, one of the finest the finest scene I've ever seen in films is 4 men walking down a dirt road, not a dirt road, but it was a town in Mexico. And those 4 men were going to rescue one of the comrades. And it's the finest scene. You're just there like that, like that Mexican music playing in the background. And you just see them walking down. Ben Johnson, Warren Oates. Ben Johnson, Warren Oates. Who were the other two? And one of the lads, actually came from Sicily with his family as a little boy, couldn't speak a word of English. And he learnt his English in St. Francis Xavier School up in Salisbury Street, Shaw Street. So if all you film buffs, Warren Oates, Ben Johnson, and who were the other two? And the film is one of the best, well, it is the best. They call it Westerns today, and to me it was epic. But if I told you the title, you'd get the other two immediately. The Anfield. Johan, I thought you'd get that one, lad. Ali, I buy cigars and broke them and make them small ones, but it's good business if they do, if they let you do it. In Romania are not allowed only with go away. I buy from a website. Go away. Didn't know that. Well, I tell you who used to make cigarettes and tobacco, cigars, and that was his little business. That's how he's making money. And he used to play a clarinet, and he used to go over to a little bandstand in the air in Liverpool in Solver Street, and that was Paul McCartney's granddad. Paul McCartney's granddad. How about that then? That's how he made his business. Or that was not how he made his business. That was his business. And Toscana, Wolf Creek was scary. It was, wasn't it? Horrible. Horrible. Johan, isn't James the same guy who helps people in need with furniture and commodities? Some people just have evil in their hearts to stop someone from helping others. Yes, it is. It is. It's shocking. And it's depriving, as I said, Johan, someone would not. He's just said to me there, he said, I had a delivery made, to these people. Even beds. He was delivering 2 beds. One for a teenager and the other one was like bunk beds for a couple of little kids to the same home because they were full of kids. And also a cooker for the same people. They never had a fucking cooker or a bed for the kids. And he said I couldn't do it. Yeah, that's it. That's our lad's, Jared's lad. Cracking fella. Cracking fella. I feel sorry for. It's like feeling sorry for him, but I feel sorry for other people who won't be getting what they be getting. See, he doesn't work on a Saturday or a Sunday. He says, I have to have the weekend because he's exhausted. Fucking big furniture, wardrobes and everything. Wardrobes. He brought me one. He said, hey Francis, Uncle Francis just will this to you. And he put this, big, I've got it, a big pine wardrobe. And I went, yeah. He said, honestly, it's a cracker. I said, oh, brilliant, bring it, can you? He said, yeah, and he did. I was dead fucking heavy. He's dead strong. I said, I can't help you. He said, it's all right, no problem. And that's what he's like. Because I was I couldn't move, couldn't get out. And I was just talking to him, phone me up. I said, I've got to get a wardrobe. I said, Francine, I said, she's at work. I said, I can't get out. I'm in desperate need of a wardrobe. And he put this right away. He said, will this do you? And I went, yeah, fine, lovely. And he brought it that day. Was it that day? No, that in the evening. He brought it in the evening, said yeah. So it was just like me saying, I need this, So you could imagine, when people are looking at his thing, And he's got all these, everything. And I mean everything. Washing machines, honestly, tellies, flat screen tellies. Is anyone in need of this? Honestly. And they're fucking being deprived now. People who have got nothing. Thanks for that, Johan. Hi, Frank and everyone. Like and subscribe, says Christopher. Thank you, Christopher. Steve Mulholland. See you later on here, Frank, after the game. A couple of pints. Oh, he'll be drunk. Steve, he'll be drunk. My old mate. Going for a bevy. And a curry. Steve Mulholland goes to Cuba. You know, he goes down again. And I'd love to ask him what he thinks of Trump wanting to invade. And our B says that the lovely people, Cubans. Recently, I watched the Idiot, brilliant. It was made, and the scary thing is it's now looking more like a documentary than a comedy. Luke Wilson, cracker, funny, but it could easily be. There's a film for you to watch, Idiocracy with Luke Wilson. Just have a look at it. And it's set, you see him at like today, and then all of a sudden he's catapulted through cryogenics into the future. It's good, but it's sort of a dystopian world. Well, fucking leaders, you know, all drug addicts and world leaders. And we know a fucking few drug addicts, don't we? World leaders. Or pretend they're fucking world leaders. That's a cracker, Christopher. Thank you for that. And I love smoking. Everybody says they can't quit smoking, but I don't want to. Can't see my Romanian morning without a cigarette and a coffee. It's whatever is whatever you like anyway, you know. Free world. Often ranked as the most scary film while 2020 film host, says Bella. Host. Is that what it's called? Host. Ciao Franco and everyone, hope you're all well, says Bella. Yes, everyone on here are all moaners. I'm only joking, Bella. And see you later, Frank, for another episode of Piss Off Along. Oh. And Johan, to Christopher, Trump probably took notes from the president Camacho of Idiocracy. Did you see that? That's a cracker, that. You seen it, Johan? Oh. The classics like Some Like a Dot. Well, no one got it, I take it. And it was William Holden. And who else? Who was the little Italian who couldn't speak a word of English and learnt his English here. and his name was Ernesto Bernini, and his family wouldn't allow him or allow his name, just like Frank Sinatra, to change from the Italian. So they anglicised the actual name, Ernesto, to Ernest, and Bernini to Borgnine. So I'll be finishing in a minute or two, and it's been a blast this morning. Been a blast. It's really been good. But I'm sorry about last night because I really wanted to get into it's only what Johan was saying there before. And it's wrong. I just wanted to have a go at the psychopaths in American politics. They're all fucking psychopaths. There's Maduro, who's got a $50 million bounty on his head. That's how fucking nasty these people are. And that Lindsey Graham, I heard he's horrible there. He's one fucking horrible prick. And he said, yeah, he's being found guilty in a USA court. How the fuck can he be found guilty of being a drug king in a USA court? How? Could they try you and me and say we're guilty of fucking something, and the FBI or whoever come for me or you? This is the way it is. They could just fucking, I'd say anyone, and then go over and they'll do regime change. As I said, that woman who won the Peace Prize was groomed by Mossad and the CIA. Because she said, didn't she? I want to put, when I get in, this is how confident she fucking is. When I get in as president of Venezuela, I'm going to move our embassy to Jerusalem. Think about that. She said that. So in other words, she's a Zionist and supports Israel. And if you support Israel, you support genocide. Fuck. And Bella says, laughing out loud, we most probably are all moaners, Franco. Nothing like a good moan. Great film, Benvenuti al Sud, always makes me laugh. There's a true story. I forget his bloody name. I always forget this fella's name and I forget the bloody type. Italian film set in, it's fantastic. And it's set during the Second World War. And Jews being rounded up in Italy. It's an unbelievable film. Oh, forget the lad's name, forget the man's name. Great actor. And so fucking sad. Heart-wrenching. Is it a beautiful something or a wonderful something? A beautiful day or something like that? I forget. They probably charge us for thought crime if they see what we're up to on a Friday. Yeah, I told you I got warned, didn't I? little thing up in the corner. But you know, we've got to, we've got to. We can't stay quiet. If you stay quiet, then that's it. You're controlled. But we're still controlled anyway by everything. But today, this morning, this has been a mixture of everything: fun, seriousness, sport, politics. Christopher, cheers, Frank, and everyone. All the best for the weekends up the movie watching Zets. Up the movie watching Zets. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So listen, all you wonderful people. I'll close it down now. Oh. It's a debt. Thought you left us a debt. Thought you'd gone. Thought you'd gone. Disappeared on us. And she says, for beautiful eyes, look for the good in others. For beautiful lips, speak only the words of kindness. And for poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never alone. Wow. Wow. That's incredible, that. I forget who said it, and it was looking at a female, looking at a woman. And he said, the sensuality is not in the face, but it's in the eyes. You know, if you look at a pretty face or just an ordinary face, the sensuality is in the eyes. Forget who said it. Unfortunately. Great comment out of that. Wonderful. Morning, Frank, says Lynn. Morning, Lynn. Going now. You were talking about the Wild Bunch before, weren't you? Yes, the Wild Bunch. That's the greatest scene, Johan, where you see them walking down forward, not saying a word to each other. There's two words that's spoken, and it was by William Holden when he comes outside, and he just looks to the other three and just says, let's go. And you just see them walking down. That's the best scene, cinematographic scene I've ever seen in any film. Haunting because they're going to their deaths. I was talking to Anthony privately, and I've got something in line. And I said, do you fancy doing that? And he went, absolutely. And it's called In Conversation. Can't wait to do it. Grazie Franco and chatter. See you all later, says Toscana. Grazie. Grazie cara mia, Toscana. e, e Bella d'Italia, anche. And Bella says, Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn's a fine actress, yes. Audrey Hepburn. I always get mixed up with her and another one. And I didn't even know she was an English actress. Well, anyway, I'm leaving now. Thank you, you wonderful ladies, for joining me and keeping me company, and all the lads out there for keeping me company. And I've got to thank my wonderful Gap Painting Services who sponsor the Frank Carlyle show. Fully time served lads, fully insured. Get them in. If you're an NHS worker or an elderly couple or even on your own, being elderly, don't struggle. Get these in. You get a special discount and they're very reasonable, even if you don't fit into those categories. And you can get a price without any obligation. And I will find out that film, which it's a must watch, an Italian film. Might tell you a little later on during the watch along if you're there, if any of you are joining me. See you later, Franco. Thank you, Bella. Yes. 8 o'clock. But I won't be on at 8. I'll be on at, I think I don't know whether he's put the schedule on. I'll have to have a look later for 8 o'clock, but definitely 7:15, 7:15 for the pre-match. Then the match. Then the post-match. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love you all, and see you later. Some of you, anyway. Thank you. Ciao.